Welcome back, friends. We are in Yosemite Valley for a few days to relax and absorb nature. I realized while planning our time here that we would be following in the footsteps of John Muir and Teddy Roosevelt. However, we are arriving a lot different than they did.
Muir and Roosevelt came here to discuss the preservation of America's natural landscapes and the future of conservation in the United States. Their historic camping trip was pivotal in shaping the national parks movement. From this breathtaking viewpoint into Yosemite Valley, you have the same view that naturalist John Muir and President Theodore Roosevelt had in 1903 on their way from Mariposa Grove. They spent 3 days camping in Yosemite and exploring locations like Glacier Point, Sentinel Dome, and Mariposa Grove. The experience significantly influenced Roosevelt, leading him to establish numerous national parks and wildlife refuges. There was a picture taken in 1903 featuring John Muir and President Theodore Roosevelt under the grizzly giant tree. The photograph captures a remarkable moment in time for the preservation of public lands. While sitting around a campfire at this very spot, Muir convinced Roosevelt of the need to further protect this grove and the larger Yosemite area under federal jurisdiction. During his administration, President Roosevelt signed into existence 228 federally managed parks, monuments, and preserves.
Yeah, that's what I recommend anyway. So that's this.
The question I had is we're going to do the Valley Loop Trail, but we're only going to do half of it. So we're going to start here. And I think the plan is to hike towards the Ahwahnee. And then my question is, once we pass the Ahwahnee, where is our turnaround to come back?
Hidden in plain sight of visitors is the 11-mile Valley Loop Trail. We hiked portions of this trail around the entire valley. The trail takes you past many historic locations that most people aren't aware of. It passes near a reconstructed Yosemite Indian village of the 1870s. The largest Miwok village in Yosemite Valley, the village of Ahwahnee, was once in this area. It also passes through the last Miwok village in the valley, near the location of Camp 4 today. This trail is long, but mostly flat, and has a little bit of something for everyone. I was surprised at just how remote some sections felt.
I want to show you something that I found during my research. This is the site of the old Sentinel Hotel. The only thing that's left is this trunk from the big tree room. If this tree could talk, imagine the stories that it would tell. I came across another interesting find. It's the corner marker for the big tree room. I'll bring you in for a closer look.
Some parts of the trail weren't remote at all and actually passed along roads around the valley. We ended the first day by making dinner under El Capitan. I asked 3 different park rangers about cooking here and was told it's okay. They said there aren't enough picnic areas to accommodate everyone, so roadside picnicking is tolerated. I got up early the next morning, with temperatures in the high 20s, to hike the other portion of the Valley Loop Trail. It didn't take long for temperatures to rise into the high 50s in the afternoon.
In 1869, innkeeper James Hutchings hired John Muir to build and operate his sawmill, as long as no trees were sawed down. Muir worked here, milling trees blown down in storms to make improvements at Hutchings' Yosemite Valley Hotel.
We're at the site of the sawmill on Yosemite Creek, and I'm reading a passage from John Muir's The Grand Yosemite. This is what John Muir had to say about the sawmill. I sleep in the mill for the sake of hearing the murmuring hush of the water beneath me, and I have a small box-like home fastened beneath the gable of the mill, looking westward down the valley, where I keep my notes, etc. People call it the hang nest because it seems unsupported. Fortunately, the only people that I dislike are afraid to enter it. The hole in the roof is to command a view of the glorious South Dome, 5,000 feet high. There is a corresponding skylight on the other side of the roof, which commands a full view of the Upper Yosemite Falls, and the window in the end has a view sweeping down the valley among the pines and cedars and silver firs. The window in the mill roof is to the right, above my head, and I have to look at the stars on calm nights.
After bringing the first tourists to Yosemite Valley, James Hutchings established Hutchings House in 1864. He and his wife launched a career as Yosemite innkeepers. It was located near the apple orchard he planted, which still bears fruit today. John Muir eventually built a small one-room cabin along the creek near Yosemite Falls, not far from the hotel or sawmill.
The next passage that I want to read from John Muir's Grand Yosemite is from his cabin site on Yosemite Creek near the sawmill. From the Yosemite Creek, near where it first gathered its beaten waters at the foot of the fall, I dug a small ditch and brought a stream of water into the cabin, entering at one end and out at the other with just enough current to allow it to sing and warble in low, sweet tones, delightful at night while I lay in bed. The floor was made of rough slabs, nicely joined and embedded in the ground. In the spring, the ferns pushed through between the joints of the slabs. Dainty little tree frogs occasionally climbed the ferns and made fine music in the night.
A famous historic spot along the trail is Camp 4. It served as the base camp for early rock climbing pioneers while they tested themselves on Yosemite's granite walls. During the golden years of Yosemite climbing, from 1947 to 1970, climbers spent extended stays in Camp 4, sharing climbing techniques and philosophies. The boulders and picnic tables served as a focal point for training activities, ascent planning, equipment design, and community that defines the history of the climbing movement.
Come on, Adam. You got it. Pull and climb, pull and climb. There you go. Keep on going up. Keep on going.
You gotta
up.
keep going. You gotta
Don't
keep
be
pushing.
scared. Yeah,
You can't stop.
There you go. Keep on going, Adam. Keep on
There you
going.
go.
You got it. Come on, Adam.
Hey,
Come on, you got
Come
it.
on.
You're
Grab
there.
The, grab
You're
the tippy
there.
top.
Grab up to the top. Grab.
There you go. Just like that.
Pull yourself up. Pull yourself up. Climb and pull. Come and pull. Come and pull. Come and pull.
All right.
Go.
Attaboy. Love that. Yes, sir. You got that, dog? There you go. That's what's up. Guys, come on. It's not that hard.
Isaac, your legs
Let's
are
do
bumped.
this.
It's
Since
not
our
that
stuff
hard.
is here, we can try. I'll give you a good taste of what climbing Yosemite is like over there on the Bridwell boulder, and then we'll pack up and we'll go do action jump.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so the only thing you can just do when people are climbing for something like this, definitely get the real big jump.
Yeah, or else you're gonna end up like Johnny breaking a foot. We should have been spotting you. We failed you, Johnny.
Imai. Bring yourself more around the left.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's not a steep.
Pull up, pull up. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Bro, my fingertips are burning.
In March of 1851, a local militia, known as the Mariposa Battalion, was sent to this area in search of Miwok people suspected of attacking a trading post. They became the first Euro-Americans to enter Yosemite Valley. The Miwok people, who called themselves Awanichi, lived in Yosemite Valley for thousands of years. Their traditional practice of burning the meadows and oak woodlands in the valley contributed to the open landscape first seen by the Mariposa Battalion. Lafayette Bunnell, a doctor with the Mariposa Battalion, said the whole valley had the appearance of park-like grounds, with trees, shrubbery, flowers, and lawns.
I'm near the location where 2 soldiers from the Mariposa Battalion were killed by Native Americans. There's also a plaque nearby commemorating Dr. Bunnell, who is also a part of the Mariposa Battalion. Let's see if we can find it.
I was asked to build a sawmill right at the base of the Yosemite Fall. And he invited me to build a cabin there as well for myself, which I thought the finest accommodations in this valley. Oh, but the sawmill, I know what you're thinking, eh? John Muir with a sawmill in the Yosemite Valley. And my enemies too made a great deal of that when we were quarreling about the fate of the Hetch Hetchy, accusing me of being a pseudo-naturalist who were one of the first squatters in the Yosemite, and who cut and logged and sawed the trees of that valley with as much willingness as any lumberman in the Sierra. All nonsense, perfect compost. I never cut down a single tree in the Yosemite. All the trees we processed were from fallen timber, from trees blown down by storm many years before. I never cut down a single tree in the Yosemite, nor sawed a log cut there by anyone else, and furthermore, I never held nor tried to hold any sort of claim here in the valley. Infuriating stuff, really ticked me off. But my cabin, I was describing my cabin, which again I thought was the finest accommodation in the valley. The floors were made of rough slabs, loosely, nicely joined together, and in the springtime, the common terrace ferns would grow up between the slabs, two of which I trained on threads to go up and over my window in an ornamental arch. And my bed, dainty little tree frogs would sometimes climb those ferns to make their fine music. My bed was suspended from the ceiling and lined with cedar boughs. And from the Yosemite Creek, I led a small ditch directly into the cabin, creating a stream that running alongside the wall. It was not in the way. It had just enough fall to ripple and sing in low, sweet tones, making delightful company, especially at night while lying awake. And the only other sound at night were the flickering of my fire, the ticking of my clock, the sound of the lovebirds of the frogs singing out in the meadow, and the deep waving roar of the Yosemite Fall, sounding like breakers on a rocky coast. I often thought then, and have thought many times since, that whenever you try to pick out anything by itself, you find it hitched to everything else in the universe. And so too, that cabin, again, the finest accommodations, and built constructed for a cost of something like $3 to $4, a cost acceptable even to a Scotsman.